Okay guys, welcome to another tutorial Tuesday and Thursday video. Um, this is for today, this is for Tuesday. It is currently Monday right now, so I'm filming this a day before, but today we're going to be learning how to solder your own power cables for cosplays. I would have done a different topic today. I would have dove more deep into RC, but currently I'm pretty busy, and this is probably the most easiest video I can make real quick. And I'm pretty sure this step is more important than the actual RC. So yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so the first thing you want to get is you want to get your hot glue gun. Plug this guy in. As you can see, there's my power strip. That and my solder is plugged in. And for the actual soldering, you're gonna want your own soldering, I don't know what this is called, but I'll just soldering tool. We have this guy, he's already plugged in. I set it to 480. I don't really think it matters what temperature you set it at, but the highest temperature is what it's at for me. You want to make sure this is hot, so don't touch it. There's a heating element here that heats up here, and once you plug it in, make sure there's different types of these soldering ones, but just you want to make sure the red light is on, because that means it's heating up. This is the power switch. If I click it, this is turning off, and in a few minutes it'll cool down and be completely fine to touch, but it is still hot right now, so it's on. And this is the little dial indicator. Sorry, I'm filming this at like somewhat at night, so it's kind of hard to see, but you can see 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, and 480. So mine is set to 480. And yeah, the bit here, make sure this is on. This tightens the bit to the actual soldering. The bit I have another one right here. It is this little, it's the standard one, I'd say, that comes with each soldering tool. I don't know if I can turn my flash on. This is kind of crusty because I've been using it for a little bit, but yeah, here you have the bit here. Yeah, make sure this guy's on. I set him here, but I also had him on this thing, if you guys saw that. This is a little pliers that has been cut off and broken because I've used it so many times. I've actually used this guy while fabricating to hold fabric down, but these are like 99 cents too, so if I was you, I'd recommend getting one of these. All I do is I just clamp it. This is called a clamp, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I just clamp it and put it here so it doesn't touch anything or mess with anything. Because in the past, I've had like plastic pits like this laying around, and it's like been sitting melting through, and then I come to find out that, oh, like parts of my prints are melted because I've left that on. But yeah, okay, so we have the soldering. Make sure these guys are on. For this video, I already have them on, so I can just go ahead. Also, you're gonna need some electrical tape. I do not know how thick this is. This is probably 2 centimeters thick, but you can use any electrical tape. Just make sure it's electrical tape. And yeah, and then you want to get yourself some soldering wire. This I got from AliExpress, and I will include the link to this in the description, as well as some electrical tape too. It doesn't really matter what brand of soldering wire you get. I just got this one because it was the cheapest. So yeah, the diameter is 1 millimeter, and this is like there's a bunch of wire. So okay, and then next what you want to do is get your cable. I'm pretty sure I explained this in the first video, but I'm just going to explain it again. When getting these cables, you definitely want to test it out and make sure they work. So here I have my phone charger cable. This is USB-C, and this is a really good cable. What I mean by test it out is you want to plug this guy in. Plug this guy in. Boom. This is just a controller I use for cosplays. This was actually in the first video. This is the Radiolink one. And I'm just going to test it out by plugging it in because it is USB-C, as you can see. turns on, so this cable is good. Also, another thing with these cables is I'm using this one for my phone because I know it's a really good one for powering. Sorry. This is a good one for powering my phone because phones have a little bit of energy to them. So this would also be a good one for cosplay, but I'm not going to be using this because I need this for my phone. What we're actually going to be using is another cable that I've previously tested and already soldered. This one. And the reason why we're doing this one again, even though it's already complete, is because I was testing Toy Bonnie with this, and Toy Bonnie, he draws so much power that this one actually overheated. So in this video, I'm just going to be resoldering it and making sure it's good, and we're not going to be using it for Toy Bonnie. But for Toy Bonnie, we're going to be using a bigger battery, which is actually better. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me put this bit away. I keep my bits up here in this little storage thing I made. You guys see that? I also have some eyeballs here too. I'm still, like, I know I said I was gonna sell these a while ago, but I'm still working on them. So yeah, it's kind of dusty too. Oh, it's so dusty. Yeah, these are. I also have cupcakes up here. The Withered Freddy ones, those ones don't work at the moment, but Cupcakes one does. So. A little thing. But yeah, this Thursday I should have another video out, and I will probably do something RC related in that one. I can't guarantee anything right now for sure, but I will try my best. Well, I'm obviously going to post a video on Thursday too, but I will try my best to include something RC related, or something at least related to servos or RC. But yeah. Okay, so once you get your cable, this one is already prepared, but what you're going to want to do is, if I was using this one, I would cut this off, and you could cut that off with these wire trimmers. I will put this link in the description, but what I would do, I would trim this off and have this wire, and there's two ways you could strip the wire, because in order to get the positive and negative wires, you need to strip the wire. You could use this one very carefully, or you could use a wire stripper, which we're going to use for this video. So this one is already wired, so I'm just going to repeat that process. Going to snip it off, and then you'll be left with, you might have a little wire, but normally it should come flat. Cut this off. It should come flat like this. Okay, let's zoom in. Let's say you have, let me put my light closer so you guys can see. Hopefully that's good. That doesn't mess with it. Okay, so with this wire stripper, I'm pretty sure these are for thing. I got this off AliExpress too. I will put this in the description, but if you're gonna use this, definitely be careful because there is sharp elements to it. This one, it's currently locked right now, so all you have to do is open that little switch, and then yeah. Also, this one can fold up too, so you can have it fold up like that, and then you can just attach. Alright, so we have the little wire here. Now I'm gonna put it through the biggest, which is this one. It isn't marked, but it's the one above 3, so I'm assuming, actually, let's just put it in 3. There you go. Pull. I think that stripped the whole wire. Yeah, no, it did that perfectly. Okay. See, I'm just gonna strip a little bit more of the wire. Personally, I would get a full centimeter stripped, and then you might be left with these wires because these are for phones and stuff. But don't worry, this isn't bad. Alright, so we have the wires here. As you can see, it's a bunch of metal wires. I'm going to take a little tool to pull these apart. And make sure while you're doing this, the cable isn't plugged in, or you could get shocked or electrocuted. You probably can't, but there is the possibility, so you don't want to risk that. So as you can see, there's the positive and negative here. And what you want to do is just get all the other cables and separate them. So I can do this by finger. I don't have to use this tool. Yeah. We have all the metal wires. So there should be 4 wires, not to every cable because all cables are different, but for this video you just want to find the positive and negative, and you can get rid of the other cables. So see, there's a green and white cable and everything. Okay, so now we just have the positive and negative left. These are left, and you can just cut these off. There is different types of cables, and yes, they won't always be indicated positive or negative. So always do your research on these wires before you wire it, or else you could overheat the cable and potentially make it explode. I haven't had any of my cables explode, but there is the possibility. And one time I saw smoke because I plugged the cable in wrong. But that's not wiring issue. That's I plugged it in wrong in the receiver and it started to overheat. But yeah, if you ever feel that or smell burning, definitely unplug it and rewire it. Alright, so now we have this. And you could use the wire stripper for these, but I'm probably, if they're too small, then I would just do it by hand. Yeah, these are probably too small to go in here. So what you're going to want to do is get these little wire cutters and just slightly pinch it. And just pinch it for a little bit, and then if I would do this for like 5 seconds, gently pinch it, don't pinch it all the way, because if you do, it'll cut off the wire and you'll lose wire for soldering. And then just pull it off, and then you can see the copper wire in the wire, and that is basically a stripped wire. And just repeat the process for this one. So we can push this guy to the side. You can see the little motion here. That was kind of bad. There we go. So now we have both wires stripped. Zoom out. Okay, so now we have both wires stripped, and that is good to go. So we can put this guy aside right now. Now, for the actual connector piece to the for the actual connection piece to the receiver, you can use JST, or you can actually use the servo. I don't have a servo, so I can't. Actually, no, I do have a servo. I'll be right back. It's right behind me. So we have a servo here. Now you could use a JST plug, which I use, or you could have this one, this actual servo. The only reason I'm using JST, it doesn't matter which one you have. I would actually probably recommend the servo, but for now I'm using JST because when I first started powering my cosplays, I used batteries, and the only batteries I used were JST plugs, so that's why I'm using JST plugs again. They probably don't deliver the most power, but I would definitely recommend getting some servo positive and negative wires. I'll include a link in the description to, not the servo kit. You don't need these servo cables because these are 3 wires and you only need 2, which is positive and negative. But I will include a link to these servo wires with just the positive and negative in the description, so you guys can get that. But I did not do my research, but I'm pretty sure the servo ones are way better than this one. But yeah. Anyways, for the purpose of this video, we're just going to be using the JST plug. But yeah, that's basically why I use JST plugs. In the future, I'm definitely going to use servos. There's nothing wrong with these guys. These guys have been really good with my cosplays. It's just with Toy Bonnie, he's the only one that's actually drawn a lot of power. And yeah, I'm probably going to have to switch power supplies. Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to trim this guy off. And then we have the positive and negative wire. And we're just going to strip the wires individually now. So. And it's always good to have your room well ventilated. Like I have a fan on to the right of me, and my door's open, and it's ventilating, because you never want to breathe in soldering smoke whatsoever. So I would actually recommend wearing a respirator during this. I just lost my respirator. It's somewhere in my room, I just can't find it. But definitely recommend using a respirator. That was kind of bad. Sometimes if you strip a wire, like that's a really small, it should be more wire. I just do it again. But yeah, never rush on these kind of things. You always want to take your time. I think that might be good. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so we have that. Let's do the positive one. And just a little refresher, the red is positive and the black is negative. So always keep that in mind. A way you can check if you did it right is if you can like see, sometimes you can see a little opening in the little case to see if it's good, and this one looks good, so yeah. Also, these ones came like this, but since I already soldered it, I have to redo it. But they already came like this, so once you actually order these, they should already come like this, so you don't have to strip these. You only have to strip the cable up here. But yeah, here's another cable I did. This is my actual original cable that I use for all my cosplays, but I made more cables so I can. A lot of the commissions I'm doing now, which if you guys didn't know, I'm actually getting commissioned by a few people to make stuff. One of them was Toy Bonnie for Mr. Figure Industries. If you guys know him, shout out to Figure Industries. I'll put his channel right here. Another is I was commissioned by a guy on TikTok, which I have a TikTok and an Instagram. I was commissioned by a guy on TikTok to make some eyes for his Withered Freddy cosplay and a Springtrap helmet, which for the past few days I've been joking is actually Chica, but I think people are taking it actually serious, but no, he's actually Springtrap. But yeah, I'm just trying to mess with you guys. Yeah, a lot of the stuff on this channel is like a joke, and it's not meant to be taken seriously, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, and then I've also been commissioned to make some eyeballs and a whole lot of other commissions that I'm not really gonna. I'm too tired to explain right now, but yeah. So once we have this wire, we have this wire here. Also, I said with the wires being different, sometimes it'll be white and green wires or white and yellow wires and a whole bunch of other colors, but definitely do your research before this because you don't want to plug it in like that because it will definitely overheat and might explode, or just might ruin the cable entirely or trip the breaker. Either or. But yeah, do your research and definitely yeah, do your research so nothing bad happens. Also, another thing I'd like to mention is this. This is a servo clamp. I'm pretty sure you can 3D print these. It's just I didn't have a good 3D printer at the time when I started soldering, so I just bought this guy off AliExpress for 99 cents, but I will include a link to this guy. But yeah, it's basically just 2 springs and it holds the wire in place. You can put the positive here. So you just push up on this, and I'm pretty sure it has rubber clamps. So I just keep it in the middle, line it up with the middle here. You don't have to do this, but it's just what I do. And then find the other wire here, and then get the positive. And also, when you're soldering, make sure all the wires are straight and they're not bent like this one. I don't know if you guys can see that. 2x zoom. Always make sure they're straight, so you can kind of pinch them sometimes. And this one is kind of bent, so I'm gonna. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna put them on top of each other, and then move the other wire because sometimes it may hang over. Yeah. Also, a good tip is to have them on top of each other like this. Make sure they are connected. These are really small, so just maybe wear eye protection. I don't know. It's really not required. And then now is the fun part. What I recommend is getting some soldering cleaning tool tips. So there's a little paste I have somewhere, and you put your soldering tip in it, and then it cleans it, and then just get like also get a napkin, and you can wipe off whatever gunk is on it. But I've kept this one pretty clean, so I won't have to do it. What I like to do first is I like to grab a little bit of the soldering wire. Let's zoom in. Too far. Okay. And anywhere on this you could do, like you see some smoke, that's just the soldering tool heating up the metal. So here's the sweet spot, and you can kind of see the metal melted. Yeah, get a little bit of... Oh. I dropped a little bit of metal on the plastic. You want to get this guy to stick like that. That's molten... I don't want to call it molten metal, but it's definitely heated up metal. Okay, and so we are going... Let me put it back into it, so... Sorry guys. You have this, and what I like to do is I like to do it from the bottom. Make sure you coat the metal wire, do not coat the plastic. And as you can see, it is coated. And you know it's coated if the whole wire is submerged in metal. Sometimes if there's a little... Sorry guys. Sometimes if you can still see the copper wire, I just like to make sure and put a little more solder on it. And see, this guy is fully soldered now, because it is... The metal wire is... Or make sure the metal is all around it. So this guy looks good. And we're gonna just put a little more solder on my bit. More like that. Okay. If we can get my thing to focus. Those are also Springtrap's eye rings. I don't know if you guys know that, but yeah. Currently I'm working on the irises right now, so yeah. He's also been a fun project to work on. And I definitely want to make my own Springtrap cosplay, but this one is a commission, so he will be sold. But the guy commissioning me is really nice, so yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna line it up. Also, huge shout out to my dad, because he's the person who actually taught me how to solder. He actually introduced me to soldering because he likes to work with a bunch of stereos, and yeah, he sort of taught me how to solder, and then I just picked up the hobby on my own, or I picked up the rest of the hobby of soldering and getting tools and supplies. No, I think I got this one right. That's somewhat good. So we're just gonna... Sometimes you have to heat it up for a little bit. And you won't always get it on your first try, but definitely keep your hands still. Like, see, it came undone. You definitely don't want something like this because the wires are barely touching. So I'm gonna just move the wire. Okay, I'm just gonna put it on. But I'm pretty sure both of them are coated. You can kind of see some of the plastic has melted. You definitely don't want that. But if it's just like the surface plastic or rubber melting, that's definitely fine. Just try not to burn anymore. Okay, I think that's good. That's attached. I'm gonna put a little more solder to just make sure everything is on correctly. Okay. There's a little bit of copper here. There we go. I've melted a bit of the plastic, but it's alright. Okay, so that is also good. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn off my soldering gun. Let me put this back. We'll next soon. Alright, so now you can Also, when you're handling this, slowly do it because the metal may be cooled, but just take it off slowly so you don't bend the wires or whatever. But yeah, we have it soldered, so if you made it this far, congratulations, you soldered your first wire. Now we can get to the fun, well, that was the fun part. The second, or the best part right now, we can now start wrapping it up. So I'm just gonna put this guy back. Yeah, so power off your soldering, your soldering tool, and I would just let this cool down. So I have a little air purifier at the bottom of me here, so I'm just gonna put it by the air purifier so it can get, so as it cools down it can get rid of all the bad soldering smell, and still have your hot gun plugged in because you're gonna need it. This guy's good to go. Okay, so now I can start packing up. I'm gonna put our wire stripper away. This guy was only like $4 on like AliExpress, so that's also good. So put this guy here. Yeah, funny story. I found this at my school. It's a rusty nail. I don't know how old it is. It's probably like 2 years old. It's like corroded, and I like to just keep that with my soldering tool for like a random reason. I don't really know why. I just find it cool. I actually want to 3D print my own display case for this, but definitely have it on a less restrictive base because it's just kind of like pressing into it. I definitely want to have it on like a little glass display case. So that's another project. Stay tuned for that. That might be tutorial video 3. Yeah. Also, sorry for last Thursday because last Thursday I wanted to make a video, but I was too busy with stuff, so I wasn't able to. So sorry about that. But in the future, I'll definitely let you guys know if I'm unable to make a video, but I should be able to make a video every week. So, okay. So now you have your wire. This is the part where you get to use your electrical tape and your hot glue gun. So first, you get some electrical tape. I have it here. And I'm just gonna peel off a little. Now you only need a little, but I'm just I think that's good. And get some scissors, and then actually I still need scissors. And then just trim off a little like this. This is good. About 1 centimeter by 2 centimeters is somewhat good, or 1 centimeter by 1.5 centimeters is good. For the other side, this is, and then you'll have a big piece, so keep that off to the side. But these two are for the actual wires. So with the first wire, make sure they're separated. You don't want to have them touching. So for the first wire, I'm just going to put it in the back of it here. Make sure, press it. You can see a little indent, so it is pressed down. You have your wire here, and it is separated. I can't stress this enough, do not make them touch. Keep them separate. Okay, and then press it, and then you'll have this, and you can just put that over. And then you can bend the wire and push the electrical tape through. So we have the negative separated, and then we can take the positive and do the same thing. So we place it back here. Pinch, or maybe crimp. I'm just gonna say pinch for now. And then pinch. You want to make sure it's tight, but the hot glue gun will do that. So yeah, make sure these are tight. And then since now they're separating, they're not touching, you can put them together and then get the big piece. And get the big piece. I also like to make sure they're straight too. I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah, and then make sure they're together, and then you can just do the same thing here. Wrap them, and you're good with the electrical tape. You've sealed it up. Good job. Okay, and now we can use our hot glue gun to get this guy all sealed up. So the hot glue gun is actually gonna make it somewhat airtight, or make it airtight. So get your hot glue gun and let me zoom in. Up here, I just like to add a little hot glue, just a little dab, and then on the back too. And then let that cool. And while you're doing that, you can do the bottom too. The reason I wouldn't just leave the tape like this is because it can come undone. I've actually had it in the past, but since this tape is fresh, it shouldn't come off, but I just like to take the extra step and glue it so it's all good. Because at some point it will come off. It'll peel, but it won't fully come off. But you get what I'm saying. And then once that's cooled, I like to just go over it again and make it straight. I like my cables to be nice. So, yeah. And then I just like, if I have extra hot glue, I would just put it on the napkin, but my whole workspace is messy, so it doesn't really matter. So I just wipe it. And then we're just gonna do the same side here. This side, to this side. Oh, I lost the cable. Then this side. And yeah, that's literally it. So we have this guy, let that cool, and then we will test it in a little bit. Okay, so we have Toy Bonnie here. I have him plugged in right there. I have his controller here. I plugged in the cable and I pre-tested and it does work. So there we go. Toy Bonnie. Now one thing is, while I was testing this, his left eye, the up and down rod, it broke. So all I have to do is reattach that. So that's why his eye is down. I can try and fix that. I'll probably fix it later tonight, but that's why up and down is his right eye only goes up and down. Yeah. It's kind of yeah, it looks weird. I can try and fix it real quick. Okay, I just I moved his eye up, but yeah, it's not gonna stay in place. Yeah. I'm sorry, Bonnie. Yeah, I think he wants I don't think he's mad at you guys, but he's definitely mad at me. Right, Bonnie? Yeah, he's mad at me. But yeah. He's still a work in progress. I still gotta wither him a bit more. But I wanted to make his mouth move, it's just like I couldn't get it to, so yeah. His top ears also, I'm still waiting on parts for that, so yeah. But yeah, here is Toy Bonnie. In these videos, I do want to include an animatronic of mine in each of them. Like the first one was Endo02. This Toy Bonnie. You can see he's bigger than Foxy, bro. And then we got Cupcake, which I'm gonna redo there. But yeah, Toy Bonnie. Also, his eye gets stuck sometimes, but I'm gonna fix that. So. Sorry, I just popped his eye back in place, but yeah. So if Figure Industries, if you're watching this, please Toy Bonnie. Yeah. I can actually make his eyes light up, so I'll show you guys that real quick. Okay, so I turn on his lights. Yeah, his eye. Let me fix his eye. Yeah, it looks kind of weird on camera, but you can definitely see in the mouth it kind of glows a little, which I think is cool. Yeah, so actually the story behind that, his broken eyes, I actually rescued him from the movie set, and I also stole Foxy's head, so yeah, he's still angry at me, but because he doesn't have a body, but yeah. Yeah, he's still angry at me because he's a head, and I only stole the head and not the body. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get him to be cooperative with me, but yeah, he's sassy, bro. Yeah. his eye, I can't deal with his eyebrow. It's so bad. But yeah, I'll turn it to white real quick. Okay, his white eyes are on. They're on like the lowest setting. I can actually turn that up more. But I thought it was cool that he looks like this. Let me turn them up a little bit. Okay, I turned them up a little bit because if I turn them up, he'll look like God Bonnie. I'll put a picture up on the screen. We actually have both versions. We have the FNAF 2 Toy Bonnie, and we have God Bonnie. Yeah, I know it. I know it's interesting. FNAF 1 Bonnie, God Bonnie. But yeah. So that is Toy Bonnie. The power cable works, and if you made it this far, congratulations. You successfully know how to solder. And yeah, this is the end of the video, but definitely we'll post a video on Thursday, hopefully. Yeah, if you have any videos for tutorial Tuesdays or Thursdays, let me know in the comments down below, and I will try to respond to you guys' comments. And also, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I might answer them in a video or in the comments. But as always, thank you for watching, and yeah, I can't really do outros, so bye-bye.